What unfolded inside that federal courtroom was not a scene from a movie. It was something more shocking than any film Samuel L. Jackson has ever starred in. The veteran actor, known for his fierce presence and iconic voice, took the witness stand in a case already brimming with scandal, power, and celebrity. But no one, not even the most cynical court reporter, was prepared for what Jackson had come to reveal. This wasn't just another dramatic celebrity testimony, it was a methodical, emotionally charged, and deeply unsettling account that linked two of the most respected figures in black entertainment, Sean Diddy Combs and Steve Harvey, to a deeply disturbing pattern of influence, exploitation, and betrayal. The courtroom was silent as Jackson stepped forward. He didn't quote any films. He didn't perform. What he did was present a curated and well-documented narrative stretching back more than 2 decades, one built from texts, emails, phone logs, audio clips, and personal accounts that no one had ever seen before. The focus, the disturbing mentorship, grooming, and eventual commodification of Lori Harvey, Steve Harvey's stepdaughter. And the people at the center of it? Diddy and Steve Harvey. Jackson began by explaining how this journey started not in a courtroom, but in a promise he made to his daughter Zoe when she was born. He had vowed never to let her fall into the traps he'd seen so many young women lured into under the guise of mentorship in Hollywood. That promise turned him into an archivist. Quietly and patiently, he collected evidence, whispers, and digital breadcrumbs from those around him. What started as a father's protective instinct evolved into a damning chronicle of the entertainment industry's ugliest secrets. In 2018, Jackson testified he received a USB drive from an assistant working on the set of Shaft. It contained a recording of Steve Harvey advising Lori on how to navigate moguls, including the now infamous line, "A mogul is never your boyfriend. He's your board of directors." That same year, another file, this time a video, was handed to him by an engineer from Bad Boy Entertainment. The clip showed Diddy mocking Steve Harvey while instructing staff on what Lori should wear in public. As more clips and communications arrived over the years, Jackson began organizing them into what he called the Red Ledger. He walked the court through each phase, 8 in total, of what he called the grooming ladder. It began with public admiration and co-branding. Steve Harvey praising Diddy on his radio show, Lori suddenly cleared from modeling engagements to shadow Diddy's team. Next came exclusivity and professional seclusion. Handlers replacing friends, travel schedules engineered for private encounters. From there, the deeper manipulation began. NDAs, image control, and eventually, commodification, where Lori became, as Diddy himself allegedly said in a voice memo, the green room retainer fee. But it wasn't just theory. It was all documented. Jackson brought receipts, emails from Harvey's team, encrypted signal messages, flight logs from Vista Aviation. There were even memos from stylists and assistants, showing coordinated efforts to maintain Lori's presence at Diddy's events, often at the cost of her own career. The courtroom gasped as Jackson described the gala dinners, the modeling rehearsals, and the twisted etiquette packages sent to Lori. In one clip from a private yacht party, Lori, allegedly just 12 years old, is seen dancing for a group that included Diddy, Steve Harvey, and 2 unnamed executives. The audience laughed and toasted champagne. Jackson called it what it was, a father becoming a recruiter. Then came a parade of multimedia evidence that left the gallery stunned. A kitchen video where Diddy boasts about Lori eating oysters off his chain. A Zoom call where Steve Harvey jokes about cash flow and Diddy tithing to Lori's LLC. Each frame painted a portrait of collusion dressed up as mentorship. Jackson read texts where Lori confided in a friend. "I feel like property. Puff says my smile is ratings gold." The most explosive moment came when Jackson played a night vision clip from a Martha's Vineyard rental, a property later confirmed to be leased by Diddy under a fake name. In it, Diddy and Harvey are heard laughing. Then comes the phrase, "Rinse her, then send her to makeup." The audience was silent. One juror had to be excused. The judge called a brief recess. Jackson explained that the phrase was consistent with other testimonies about Diddy's ritualistic grooming. Women would be instructed to shower with eucalyptus oils and re-emerge camera-ready. The house manager who recovered the clip also turned over logs and payments, directly tying Steve Harvey to the property. He wasn't done. Jackson presented flight logs, meticulously aligning Steve Harvey's public media schedule with Diddy's. Private jets. He showed how Harvey's Atlanta radio segments were pre-recorded, broadcast as live, while his phone pinged towers in the Bahamas or Anguilla. Jackson asked the jury one simple question. Why would a 50-year-old mogul and a father travel together with a teenager in secret? As the court reeled, Jackson pivoted to the business incentives. At the heart of it was the when-in clause, a buried paragraph in Harvey's deal with Endeavor Content. It gave Diddy's entities first-look rights to Harvey's productions, and Harvey, in return, had to maintain optics of alignment. That meant Lori had to remain present, visible, and attached to Diddy. A former chef from the Harvey household testified, under protection, that Lori was once instructed to wear a sheer Tom Ford dress because guests like the natural silhouette. Every phrase, every memo, stripped away the myth of Steve Harvey as a devoted father and Diddy as a generous mentor. The verdict from the gallery was already clear. This was an orchestrated, high-level operation masked by philanthropy, branding, and smiles. When the defense tried to imply Jackson was acting, just playing another role, he cut them off. There are no retakes in a federal courtroom. When they accused him of vendettas, he countered with documentation. Photos, contracts, recordings. Then came the final audio bombshell, a dusty DAT cassette from 2003, recorded at an after-hours club. Jackson is heard asking, "Puff, why you? Got teenagers in here?" And Diddy replies, "They're grown enough for what I need." The jury was visibly shaken. Jackson concluded by recounting the price he paid for breaking the silence, lost opportunities, canceled appearances, ignored phone calls. But he didn't flinch. He stared directly at the jury and said, "I can't undo what these men did, but I can make sure it ain't hidden behind ratings or royalties again." And as he stepped down, no one clapped. No one moved. The court simply sat in silence, overwhelmed by the weight of the truth. Outside, protests erupted. Protect Black Daughters signs filled the streets. Online, the hashtags "RAR Listen to Sam" and "RAR Silence is Over" trended globally. Advertisers began pulling from Steve Harvey's programming. Diddy's music dropped off playlists. The tidal wave had begun. Inside, the prosecution is just getting started. Forensics experts are next. Financial trails will be exposed. But Samuel L. Jackson's testimony, resonant, unshakable, has already redefined the entire case. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Is this the reckoning Hollywood has long evaded? Was Samuel L. Jackson stand the moment silence finally shattered? Subscribe and turn on notifications, because the trial that could change an industry is far from over.